Alright, welcome. Alright, we will be continuing the playthrough of Katawa Shoujo today. Few things I do want to announce before.
Alright,
welcome.
Cut off something.
Alright. Hold it. Damn it. Open thing. No! Stop it! Stop it! There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, just a couple announcements. I do have, if you have not seen it, I do have my review out for the new Animal Farm 2026 that recently came out in theaters yesterday. I got my review all edited and uploaded today. And tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I am not going to be getting finished with Katawa Shoujo. I don't know how long, since I'm not too familiar with games like this, with interactive novels and such. I don't know what's a typical length for these, but I am guessing that I will be doing a third stream for this, basically part 3, and then next week, I don't know what I'm gonna be putting out for any videos. I might watch a anime film here or there and put out a review for that. I don't know what I would be putting a review out for, but I don't know. I might not put out a video at all because I do weekly streams. And yeah, let's see. I got the video review of Animal Farm all put out. Yeah, that's about all I got. Yeah, I do have, I do need to get back to watching some other stuff. But yeah, next week I think I'm most likely going to be catching up on some of the shows that I've been watching. And then I will probably also watch some other stuff. I do have a couple anime series that's like 13 episodes long on DVD that I have not watched, that are in my collection. So I might do one of those, and at some point in the future I do plan on doing a video series on Girls in Panzer. But that's gotta wait for a little bit because I sent my Blu-ray copy of the first 13 episodes of Girls in Panzer out to my sister so she could watch them. I love the series and I wanted her to get into it, and she has never seen it, so I sent her my copy. And so hopefully she enjoys it as much as I do. But yeah, that's one of the things I am looking to get. That's one of the things I'm looking to do. And if you did watch my Animal Farm review, you did notice that I was playing the trailer for the Animal Farm 2026 trailer in loop as in the background instead of using still shills like I have been for a while. My reviews going forward, I think I'm going to try that format out to see if that definitely helps with the retention of my videos. And I'll see what you guys think of that. And yeah, so I'm looking to, anyway, let's have some fun, and let's have some fun with Katawa Shoujo, shall we? Alright, let me swap to the screen. All right, let me go ahead and move myself over a bit. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Hold on. What? No. No. Quit. Yes. Gosh. No. Okay. I know. I saved it. Come on. All right. All right. Come on. Okay. Load. Okay, that's what I should have done. Okay. The running girl. All right. The sound of alarm pulls me out of the fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blankets for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuse as for why I already haven't. Yeah, I've done that a few times, especially during Friday. Sometimes I don't even get up till like 10 o'clock in the morning. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away with that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercise as well. So eventually, I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym class at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I'd order some cover, such as contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life. This way a bit like me. After all, I'm going to start taking care of myself. I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics, which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can due to the strength of my heart. Maybe that I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday. It's running on the track. Lethally like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a pace at a somewhat easy lap, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog just like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and prompting me to do so. And even with things being like that it's only because I wanted to get out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get into shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning, your name is Hiso, right? She grins, seemingly pleasant that she remembered my name. You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has a decent look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose it'll be fine. I'll be fine. Great. I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that you actually? That's right. Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What are you saying? I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you're here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy hair transfer student who looks like he's kind of lost around the track. So why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. Training. For what? Track. Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Emmy nods ecstatically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. And modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. No, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know. It's true, I never really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're going to run together, huh? What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you gonna warm up? Women don't warm up. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad he so. She scolds me ecstatically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down on a couple times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Let's go. So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread right, and something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily to contrast my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah, I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time you just have to try and hold out longer and then longer and then longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly. Nah, I've got plenty of time. I know that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I've got to finish my routine. See you later, Hiesel. Yeah, see ya. Not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I headed back to the dorms and wash and change my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get off the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malice intent. It bursts through the fog. What? So, what? What are you doing? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scare me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What? What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask you, you've been looking for me like the stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kanji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? You know your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I still had to get up, though, whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? What? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking naturally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow, it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked, to say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with a little success. Money, sure. Awesome. Wait, do you need it? Can you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint, and in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If he's thought that counts, I should withhold payment since his thoughts were clearly impure and his intentions are probably even more sinister, since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if that's your game, then fine. I guess I'll have no choice. I want to order pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest. I got some of the pizza. No. Are you serious? Yeah, I could give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat pizza. I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you and the pizza, and they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out here. Everyone wants a piece. Then you left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It happens before. That's how I know. What is with Kanji? Every day I plan my vengeance so that when people who wrong me order a pizza, I will be there ever vigilant. What? Kanji strikes a dramatic pose completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen, please. You're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what, it happened last time I went out without carefully planning it out of advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something, maybe wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of light, splitting the sky like how you split a sandwich in two equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me. It was like in the openings of some kind of anime show. You know how there is always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's this big dramatic colored areas and zoom. Oh, excuse me. It was like that, but with poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money. Please don't leave me hanging. I only need like 1,000 yen. What? I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. Ah! Kanji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow, a particularly disturbing fact, given that this baton is conducting freely. You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms, man. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half what female porn stars make? That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So, maybe I'm a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet. So I fight the feminist agenda, and you can't even spot me your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? The feminist agenda stuff again. This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a shit, but this is serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. You take them lightly and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam! Out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if something stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for big things. Individually, they're not a threat. But if there was some kind of war, like a big war with men on one side and the feminist force on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And the day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say it's on now. Mother effers. I'm sorry, I don't feel like saying that. You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it had to be massive. You couldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would know it's a big fortress with women only in it. Who said it was on Earth? Oh my lord. I turned away from kanji and started practicing frowning faces in the mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown would be expressing my emotions. He can't see me from the distance anyway, which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on, and a war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, a vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly, when I grew tired of bleak or of a fight, when I mistook the time, the power, and went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew I had to go. And I knew I had to get serious because I am the last sane man in this world. It's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it hangs on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. So I can have the money. He's blocking the way. It's getting cold because I'm still naked and I want to go to class, so I agreed to spot him the money. Awesome, thanks dude. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or pastel green with flower accents? There are bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff, right? No! I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate on what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't want to hold you up. I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. The time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it. She's going to. What does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So I have to be alone, or I can't go with the pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him practice front. Looks kind of silly, reflected in the glass. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, I get dressed and run back to my room. Feel like it's all an eternity had passed since I woke up. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second. Waking up, my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is a good reason, as I need to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway. Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome out standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar, as if it was important to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me. She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might be unnerving her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Oh, Hiso, good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious. I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely if I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bells ring, or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chasing yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctually is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today. Hi. Misha pops into the room, Miss Susan A, as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hee-chan. Hi. Susan A. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha Susan A's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of the class, right? Right. I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answer to Susan A than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Oh, No. Stupid. Ah. Oh. Went down the wrong pipe a bit. Ugh. Sorry about that. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Suzanne are practically inseparable, she might expect Suzanne to being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated I said. Sorry about that. Damn, how complicated I decide to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Susan, eh? You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotion on Susan's behalf too? It's not that weird though that Susan A didn't like my little comment. It's true I was misinterpreting as anything. It's true I was here earlier than them, so me saying anything like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially Susan A, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing in whether or not I should apologize, Susan A has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their project budget reports for their events, even the first year except you. Wahahaha. There's still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today, the deadline is today. You're currently taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd had all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone I had to say the deadline. Please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expand a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than just distributing the funds for one class event, handling the same matter for every class in the school, and then some? The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she really is getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Susan A., aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hiso, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think. I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then can I have it, please? Susan, she might not have it on her at this exact moment. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence, much to my surprise. She knows about Susan A. and Misha's efforts to rope me in to the student council. Guess my word must have gotten around. Now she's using me as ammo against Susan A. This just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Susan A. doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have to prevent them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Suzanne closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with the attitude? I said that's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the customer representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something so this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job on not letting Susan see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Susan, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Susan and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came in. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? Seems you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. Oh my word. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. The air between them ripples with the heat of enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand why Susan suddenly is getting mad at me. Don't drag me into this. I've done my part. What do I want to answer? Yeah, hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much even if I wanted. That's right, you shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if. I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Susan, and that's what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is gonna be starting soon, so can we talk more later? I'll tell Hanako you were looking for. I feel Susan freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, so I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week, and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Susan. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to elevate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Suzune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. Sorry. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds bearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to just leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I know that Suzune and Misha have also stayed behind talking to someone from another class. Suzune is signing so fast that her hands make noise like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Misha tried to desperately to keep up, but it's clear that she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Suze signs to the point where her wrist cracks, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Something she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on the seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on the desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Suzune a bit without getting roped into student council thing again, though I suspect the door is now closed for me. Festival preparation must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in the school seem to be taking the festival very seriously whenever I see people idling around before and after class. They're always talking about the plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. So he scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me. But in the end, she starts signing without doing either. She starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands and slightly unfocused eyes. Signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, it's almost like Suzune actually speaks, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, so we're pretty busy. It's important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. We would shame ourselves in front of the past students, council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, no I think that was encumbrances, no nothing. That might make the festival short of perfect. Suzune's passive speech and Misa's enacting are really oddly fitting for them. Oh, hello. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard to beat you a straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Suzune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and starts backing away to the point where only her figure can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so. Hanako probably notes it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Suzune, and who stares back at her with her usual stunning gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Suzune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Suzune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people at two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her mind, she's in her classroom working on her festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her. She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed her. You have missed each other. She waits a little without answering the simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah? I can come with you. If it's okay. Hanako nods frantically, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I can understand why she always seems to be wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. We're planning to eat with Lily. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get into the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria crowd is during lunch. It's not as bad because dinner time is no longer the lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going on. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going on a stroll together, something I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking this. Sorry. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing, though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. There doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library I was reading. So she does spend the class she skips at the library. So not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Suzune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need double-layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type of cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost inflexible nod compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech. Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't really any need to say more, but both of us content that the decisions reach an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish, moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako moves around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building. Her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I'd never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues to stray in silence while I rue inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise comes from Lily's classroom, is audible and halfway down the hall. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first? Then come to me for backup, I wonder. Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reach the door, class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me. I open the door. Inside is a hive of actively, seemingly every student in class talking at once as they work hurriedly in their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival.
I stretch.
I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for a lack of desk space. I raise a hand entirely out of habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best as she can. Sorry, who? Sorry, Hiso. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment to pause to assess the situation before turning to the other students once again. For the moment, just ask Mayori for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off fingers, carefully sliding along the wall face for the orientation. Wait, Kenji, what Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn around, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, the corner room, Kanji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to make out what my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. They're in high demand. That's right. Class 3-2 was especially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you a hand if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind at something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Lily gave a noticeable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji, sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met. Our rooms and dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend, I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. Well, go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Caressing an assistant, Hanako and I begin another task across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor as his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the wrapped, half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet in pencil. Kenji. Huh? Who's that? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. Right, I know that man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissiveness attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks up from behind me reminds me that she's here. I was just going to help with the banner, Hanako and I, that is. Hello? Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His Son of Fox hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right, women. On second thought, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to kanji, noting that several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall. You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. His non-commutual nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do the borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch to do the borders? Text is mine, you do borders. He's surprisingly strong feeling on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I put brush to cloth, she already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everything around her worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kanji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorial, though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. I should have guessed letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously it sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school and a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied. I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. Let me get something to drink. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. Two of us connect up the lines of our parents, and mine being as close as a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kanji left finishing off a sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise it's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist as her scars extend even to there. Just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pale guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers up her wrist with her other hand. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hiso, Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you. It's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kanji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kanji gives an answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign into an empty section of himself to dry before quickly walking past us and out the door. See you, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave, as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed, the class plans this year were ambitious, maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice, though. She's right, it shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hiso? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. The nighttime slightly makes the gardens look quite different compared to the usual look of lush greenery. Things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to one and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfew, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after mad rushing during school. Excuse me. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Suzune took me kind of off guard, though. I gripped my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Suzune and I go back some ways. Her voice seemed slightly irritated as she remembered Suzune obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glanced at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression was surprisingly evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over in any case. The change of topic the change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stressed the idea of school community, so the staff likes to make our festival and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear her grumble. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up to dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods for setting off to women's dorm just next to the guys. As to be expected of such an arrangement, their staff member casually patrolling around the outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long before walking to my room. Feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamako might turn out okay. Adhering to the nursing's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Alright, next part.
Oh.
My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. Looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. But I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and it suddenly appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So, come on. I find myself suddenly grabbing and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find invaluable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but It's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on a second lap.
Emmy seems happy.
Seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Well, will I be able to do more? What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? Speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even consider it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going. Wouldn't pant what you'd pant to think I'm out of shape, pant. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're gonna play things, I increase my pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning and my legs starting to question just what the hell am I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we start playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep at it? It's like string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pains. Before I can think of anything else, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble on one hand down to clutch my chest, and the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and eyes widen. He's so... From the other side of the track. Nothing, just... Keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? His eyes shifting on to the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing. No, simply happened. No, something happened there. Upward eyes again and glances at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself. Oddly, even the matter of fact, it makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs me around and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse to shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Emmy crashes to the office knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine, anyway, he calmly sips from the coffee mug and laid down following Emmy's gaze, looming in the doorway. What brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing on his chest. I thought, easy there, Emmy. Calm down. Yeah, so what happened? I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say just a flutter. It's some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, I was being careful, come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? That is, I was racing Emmy. I mean, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well, finally she can't seem to bring herself to say out loud and merely nods. Nurse sighs and rubs his forehead with only one hand tiredly. You've got to be more sensitive to the limits of yours. I don't know if he told you, but he still has a bad heart. And getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Or actually, I started it. The nurse, stunned by my statement, you what? We were just running and Emmy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, matter of her patients do some good or another. Looks back down at both of us. So you're both stupid. That's a comforting, I guess. Now come on, Hiso. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the exit, certain where we are certain that I'm in fact not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know, nothing much, tired, but it just might be from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lay down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you don't know it's not your fault. She looks awfully down on sorry for my research didn't do anything much to cheer up. I want to make it up to you. Again with a decisive nod. Do you have to come to lunch with me? I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with a you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see your face. Good. We meet on the roof. The weather's nice now, and the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know? I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great, see you there. I stay afloat somewhere between sleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He opened the window in his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze as a lazy motion like waves, light shifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes, the breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric on the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it, not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was not a big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex to push it away and to keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Stupid. I have to be more careful. I will end up in the hospital again or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. I fell asleep for how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture on the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep as such. A weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation. The nurse looks at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to be happening in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment. what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Hiso. Oh, fine. Climb down from the bed, then let's see how you're doing. Don't. I tried to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I moved too fast. The nurse moves to support me and my arm in size. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption and my arm. After a couple minutes, he puts it away, looking rather pleased nor unhappy. You're right. Head stopped spinning. Yeah? Good. And how are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, Hiso. I swallow your retort. I was going to make it's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it started by something else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. It doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, looking as natural as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said "told you so" or something, but he doesn't. I can try to help you to keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that will remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid in interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave so I can think of anything else to say or even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not too keen to find out and possibly get lost. So I go up from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs on auxiliary building deliberately for a moment between going to dorms to get my books and stuff, going straight way to class. The sun stings my eyes, but so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet as the courtyard was naturally, so since everyone is in class, I knock lightly at the door 3-3 to push the door open and Moto calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nucky. Moto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow of something. Judging from the rambling lecture his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Moto takes it with a nod and reads quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and even overtly attentive the first days. I was pretty high-strung in class. Moto finishes the lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. I have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep... have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikaido. But reminder of a sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Moto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's a crowd in the hallway, and as crowded as hallways in the school probably get, most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I join the flow and grab a lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in lee of the classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides, and I step attentively out of the hallway, only to be met with Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, hi Hiso, great timing. I I have super extra lunch today, as promised. Let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with missing padlock. With missing padlock. I wonder who the interpreted individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hello. Yep, you scared me, Ren. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, struggling the coincidence off. I invited Hiso for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food, or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walking to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown branches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and grounds around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are letting past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow I look towards the town center where the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems to be far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfect clear Carillion sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog or car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a branch with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Hiso. What are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself at the corner of the bench and taking as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Rin and heads together lunchbox and Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go. Lunch is promised. Homemade no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks. I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin definitely opening up the lunchbox and popping a fork of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good or bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? You would become a man. Would you become a man? I very nearly choked on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always have to talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd be complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confession. Put us together and we got all our limbs, get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chose this moment to interact. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like it's one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that, sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equal pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs the straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Once again, I'm impressed how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Ren are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Ren especially so. Indeed, she gave off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision or is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So Hiso, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for having me up, inviting me up here. Oh. Let me get a drink. And for the lunch too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time. Okay, next time too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service. I don't know. My good nature. The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, well, I guess Ren and I will just keep eating lunch alone. We'll keep eating lunch alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess that this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes once again. I found myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple books I finished reading. Walking aside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I dropped the books, I barred into the return slot, and Kayuko suddenly pops up from behind it and quietly startled from the bang they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Oh, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No. That's fine. It happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do. After reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eyes. As I do, I look over the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was there, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly though, she's there absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decided again intruding on her like last time, and I against intruding on her like last time, and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent pursuing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter to check out my books and put them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset is too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their home and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room and read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, and with wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, helplessly trundling down the rabbit hole into purple wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everything being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since that time in the forest with Iwanoko. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fell asleep.
Alright, I'm guessing the next chapter is gonna start. Oh, jeez, okay.
The students rolled into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Molto lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not only wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partially be attributed to the two empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Suzanne aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she's making up for Suzanne's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Maltu approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Motu stands in the hallway, scratching his head, and he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's nothing. But it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here, but part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. All right, I get it. I'm sorry. Malto closes his eyes in frustration and realizes that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain and selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels or if it's some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand this is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I will be sticking to them. Malto appears lighten up a little bit, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to the next question. How are you finding your studies? And I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Malto tips his chin and raises his eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. I wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the lay person, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Maoto's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to the standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at this suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Maoto pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students ever have said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep with me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the question on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it will appear that Maoto doesn't even notice them. He returns to the desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got him there. The class returns to the near silence that Maoto and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparation underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you leave, I expect the answer for those problems by Monday. The class size is one instantly forgetting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issue at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our class to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence, and it's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my textbook, Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish the paragraph. The sound of my irritated sigh and subject fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako! Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye and out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, as her slender frame reaches into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must have been quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. About 10 minutes of relentless shuffling in her seat and trying to rest, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. School is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I slanter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I felt the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, lifting like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I do. I drop off my books at the dorms first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kanji is in his room. On the way to dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her, and she skids to a stop. Yo, Hiso. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she's examining. It is me. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. Then you can help me and Ren with the festival preparations. I'm not sure if I would be able to help much. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself, simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy, had I known. So is Ren working on the mural still? That's right, she needs all kind of paints and brushes and stuff, so I want to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that? Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's frankly flaky logic, here I am again, collecting the stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away
To the back wall, digging. Stretching so I don't fall asleep.
The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straightway to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawers paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smell of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form the unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks to the shelf longingly like a child. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the top shelf, longing like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels. During the fraction of a second she can see them and catches what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You are not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flashes cheeks and all. Just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me once more, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging hump, turns her back to me. So I begin scourging around the top shelf of paint, while below Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy giving a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out a desk like a treasure hunt spoils do I realize that it wasn't necessary. The height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something like jumps. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, and she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items that make our way back to Red. Chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she going to make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning, lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And she's now painting again, like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she's come off kind of unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as me likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that it just feels off about her. Well, let me grab some more Pocky. It's gone. Hold on. Sorry. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Season do, with them working as a single entity sometimes. It's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them. All different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I've returned to that word again, as if it encompasses Ren's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles in again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. All that time, the working area is a mess, but the mural itself is taken over, even more of the wall, since I last saw it. That the disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tone of red, pink, and orange. Weird imagery, things populated the space between. Looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and compulsively, so I settled myself on a nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural's progress. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was in a natural part of the scene. Her pant leg had been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs, which sport drying spectrum of war paint similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Ren ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back. That was fast. Did you run into corridors again? He so helped me. Emmy pouts. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes looking at my general direction. She nods and absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant glaze stare that just focused slightly off him. A stare that focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow motion movie. Hello, Hiso. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you made progress. Looking good so far, as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say for me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are canceled, or they die young because unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they are blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There is a boy. At the art club, you see, blind boy, so he doesn't see. He should become an artist, no bad luck guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? The only blind person that only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. And banning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize but can't remember the name of. Emmy rages. Needs a stretch. Oh, jeez. Okay. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring in some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one? Prussian blue? She's staring hopelessly at 7 or 8 cans, which with a different tone of blue. Excuse me. It's the one with Prussian blue paint on it. Rin, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the other, the small paint on the labels are legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There's no Prussian blue here. We need to go get more then. I opened my mouth to say that actively we're both needed for such a simple task, like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Oh, well, she'll notice when she goes for a Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking how weird Ren is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? Emmy's giving me a praising look if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face. You're not out of breath, are you? There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny, but I realize I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little, not every day, can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That's it. That is, I should get in shape. Not that I hadn't already decided for that. After that flatter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually, it wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I got a routine all planned out, in fact. She produced a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. I take the sheets of paper and give it a once over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to, my God, does she expect to have me running a marathon? Where did she find the time to get all this together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy. Maybe Kanji's onto something here. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My God, Kenji, if you could only see the schemes unfolding. What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep a workout if you're not. It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right? I see, and this won't only keep you running, but it makes sure that I keep running as well. Meaning I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll keep an eye on you just as he asked. You caught on quick, Hiso. And if I refuse, I had no intention of refusing, of course. But if I got to at least put up a token of resistance to such massively executed plan, well, if you refused, I have to pout, and you'd have to deal with being the guy who made Emi Ibuzaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Emi begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled then, right? You're going to be my running partner. Follow the workout.
And the dietary plan. Oh.
Dietary plan? Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're going to get in shape, you know. I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan here. All right, I forgot to give that to you. Another crumpled sheet of paper produced and handed over. Oh, excuse me. It's somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, these dietary plans seem to cut out just about everything that will be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our training start? After the festival. Right after? What if I had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know. I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get the painter in, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. By the time we get back to get the paint and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Amy and I both decided to part ways. They are leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it whenever she comes back anyway. Festival tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the weeks left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. Alright, next chapter. Alright. Hold on. Alright, I will be right back. I've gotta take a leak. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Alrighty. The next day, I woke up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto pallets for people with their craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those ominous as others do, so I'm not worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exited the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat. Alright, this will probably be my last chapter I'm doing. And then I'm gonna end stream and then I'm gonna get things ready for tomorrow. So, let's continue. Finishing my morning routine, I exit the hallway intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to the day out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans since everyone is doing something. Excuse me. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort complete with no girls allowed sign. And with the girls crossed out and the body crudely scrolled underneath it. Knocking on the door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of signs, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What time? What is it, man? Nothing. Was just gonna ask you what you're doing today. Half the school's out there already. Out where? Why? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are they? I can hear them. It's loud. I don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? Suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtain closed at times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit, that's today. Oh damn. Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. It's going to be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn, I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself and know it's here and I can't do anything. You shouldn't have told me this early, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. I imagine what could have been accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today? The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today you'd be cold. It's not, though. So there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do that. They'll eat me alive out there. I know it. That has to be a joke, right? But he said it with such a straight face, relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You could help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder, I'm kind of hungry, but I made this deal that I tried to take better care of myself. Be healthier, you know? Don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki and head straight in. Deal, sounds ominous. So, what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess. It's not that kind of a deal. You know, Emmy, from our year, we kind of agreed to watch each other's backs and... This show screams the expression of subject object in our conscious face. Chill my blood. It's if it's told the Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil. Her! You sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What is wrong with you, man? Did you know who you're dealing with? She's public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully flying tackles? She's one of them, a key player in the most vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. And couldn't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted in your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival too, it's just one of their ploys. He fingers this scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down since the panic attacks finished running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. Door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kanji just said. It's kind of unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short too. I could have finished it in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that would probably be a better idea to head outside. See the festival. Try to integrate with all the other side show acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up to somewhat friendly personality I've had the past week. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime, but at least grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm soon outside, surrounded by various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often, I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot. They're the ones who can't stop staring, and behind their eyes, you can tell they're thinking now, what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them, but at the same time, can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? Wave of something like disgust sweeps over my guilt for my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burn my guts like a wildfire. The scent of something fried lends me to the promised land where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having a break or lunch? Breakfast? What? You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime? No, I meant lunch, honest. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast. What happened to it being your lunch? That's my whatever. It's my food. Amy places her hand on her hips and begins lecturing me. Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, he so. What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eye. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly, it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure, and handled little running just fine too. Emmy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as if I haven't managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. A devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you've been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. For example, I almost died, and there was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. After a little near-death experience is no excuse for skimming basic exercise, like running in the mornings. She nods if something important has just been decided. So it's settled then. You've seen the error you raised and you're willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about it, eating healthy after all, and I'm here ordering up something grossly unhealthy. But delicious. There are more important things than delicious, aren't there? Staying alive. If Emmy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second! A sudden question springs to my mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such interest in my well-being? Emmy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week. I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Let me get a drink. Oh. Let me eat the rest. Oh, that's all the Pocky. What time is it? Got more texts. Thanks for your concern. Tomorrow morning, then. I figured that ends the conversation, so I turned to leave. Not so fast. I feel the hand on my collar, and in a second, I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emmy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company. In her eyes. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking some more of that fried crap, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentioned it, it would have been a really good idea. I was not! Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. The glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm endangering myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier and immediately starts considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it. You can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. This whole situation feels silly. I can only imagine what passersby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Emmy thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious to her mural turned out myself. So again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod as since I find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Emmy races to our destination. Hold on. The dogs are barking at something. Let me go see what it is. All right, I'm back. That's a good boy, Axel. Be a good boy, okay? Just lay down. Ah, by the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. Well, hold on. I forgot them. My heart shouldn't be pounding after just that. I take a few deep breaths, willing myself to calm down. I'm one of the most normal looking people in school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wish I had lost a hand or something. At least then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead, I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Amy looks back to notice my state of distress. You're not going to die on me, are you? Please don't. It'll be all my fault. I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it's all my fault. No, I'm fine. Guess I need to start running after all. And you wanted to keep eating your greasy whatever it was. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? Yes, it was. Maybe. Of course, I don't add that. I wouldn't be in this state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin. Oh, it's you. Hello, Emmy. Hey, Rin, I brought Hiso along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how your mural turned out. Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. I find myself wondering how long Rin's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone stopped by to look at it? Are we the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first ones to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Ren about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. Looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out. But I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. We stand in front of Merle, taking it all in. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors swoop and blend together, dragging me along them. There is a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me almost feel sleepy. I try hunting out some of the colors I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Ren doesn't seem inclined to move on. Emmy speaks up. Hey Ren, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emmy grins and claps her hands together. Good, come get some food with us. Rid nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow I don't think they'd care. Whoever they are. We head back to the food stalls as I cast a longing eye on the fried food. No, I'd better not. I'm pretty sure Emmy wouldn't let me anyway. We find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. Well, my purchases anyway. Somehow I wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence falls as Emmy and I eat and Ren stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Emmy glances up from her food. Tired, Hiso? A little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep or anything tomorrow morning. We start our morning runs. Remember, actually, they slipped my mind. I was actually enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two has actually been fun. Yeah, and I'll set an alarm. You better be there. I'll be angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock starts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. A plane forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine all starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. As a sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. There was those narrowed eyes again. You sure you're not just going to sneak off and buy some of the fried stuff over there? Nah, I'm too full to bother now. I put my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Emmy giggles. It's a surprisingly unpleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster. All part of my master plan, Hiso. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and for keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Red nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm out of Emmy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? That's slightly better than what I was planning to do. Still feel a little bit bad about lying to Emmy though. She really does feel concerned about my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. My book waits for me. I flop on my bed and head through the fireworks display. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emmy dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Oh, excuse me. Oh, we have we have another animation here. Okay. This is nice. Act 2. What? Oh, okay. Okay, I finished Act 1's. Okay. That's... Okay. My alarms beeping shudders, the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Emmy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby or even as a possible lifelong lengthening exercise. Excuse me. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning's air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. Well, what time is it? Okay, it's only 6:41. I might... Yeah, I'll probably have to quit around... I'll probably have to stop my stream around 7... a little after 7 at least. I need to... I need to take my dog out. So, the cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunlight causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it. Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late. It would seem that Emmy is already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We're both early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Emmy's sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. Nah, I never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. Of course they would make a bet. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy was on my side at least. Emmy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably light, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't actually remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything. If I don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hiso, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying. It kind of hurts a little. That's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you like this. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. God bless you, Emmy. I see it. I see. Is that sort of thing I should strive for? Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretched out. That makes no sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things, I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hiso. Come on, we better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? Hazy memory of running a mile of gym class service in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emmy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hiso? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hiso? Never better. Oh really? Maybe I should speed up then, Oh no, wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hiso. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I were in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also washed in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. She takes off at a blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the backstretch, Emmy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hiso, you can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my legs muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emmy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hiso. Kind of you to say that. Emmy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and then we'll all be done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your heads behind your head, hands behind your head, and it makes it easier to catch your breath. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath come back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's she's on prosthetics, though. That is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there'd be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hand behind her head now as well, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt up ever so slightly so that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her running short... I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So, how do you feel, Hiso? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow through my body and persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with the adrenaline. Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk together to remember. She shrugs and grins at me. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling, though, isn't it? Feel better than sex, right? I opened my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she just said. Emmy watches my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs hard as she takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we'd better get a move on, Hiso. Class is in an hour and we need to shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or anything. Normally I'd only go for practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time, don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the mornings for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know. You'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need to exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need to exercise, doctor's orders even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftops. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completionist's sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hiso. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. Alright. Oh no, is he gonna run into Kenji again? I hurry back to my room, hop in the shower, and only find that the water takes a while to heat up. Shock of cold water nearly kills me. I managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my hearts were bothering me. Guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out of my dry myself off that I realize... Oh, hey man. How's it going? Imagine who...
Hey, Imagine. How's it going?
Oh, it's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only got 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, so far I've been really enjoying Katawa Shoujo. The writing's actually really good. Crap. The left hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of another fun-filled class. What type of game is this? This is a... The name of the genre escapes me, but it's basically an interactive novel. There are certain parts to where I can choose what to do and not, but you're basically reading a book, but it's... You've got pictures, sounds, there are... What is it? For the life of me, I can't remember the name of this genre for some odd reason. Hands on the clock set me free from the tedium of another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run gives me hell of an appetite. Okay. Yeah, these are pretty big. This is a pretty big genre in the anime sphere where the stuff like this is really popular because it actually helps you actually read, and something like this I feel like is good to do every once in a while. That way it gives you more of an attention span, because so many children nowadays have a problem with attention spans. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some prepackaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. Yeah, and so far the cast... I know, right? The cast for this game... The cast for this particular one is really good. Every main cast member has some form of disability, but that's not their... But that's only part of it. Part of their characters. Rin in particular is one of the characters, and she's only has stumps for arms. So she's one of the more... How do I put... What's a good word for her? She's one of the more... tomboy type characters. Her humor is quite funny. She's one of my favorite characters. And then we have Hanako. She is more of the timid type. She is it looks like half of her body is badly burnt, so she does not like being around a ton of people. So she's one of those types that you have really strong feelings to protect her because she is one of those timid types. She's one. Hanako and Ren so far are my favorites, and then Emmy, the recent one with the prosthetic limbs, the runner. She's another one that I'm enjoying quite a bit as well. It takes a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. Oh, they probably are, knowing those two. In fact, I think I saw Emmy along the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and to take a breath. Excuse me. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my leg hurt less. I knew it! Red was already up here. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Ren's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Ren's also the more blunt type, which I always enjoy people who are more blunt, so that's probably why she appeals to me quite a bit. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching aspiration. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Okay, that is a good point. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha, that caught her off guard. It looks pensive. You may have a point, maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. There we go. Emmy chooses the moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. And what I find humorous is they took the two characters, one missing their arms and the other missing their legs, and they put them two together. That is quite humorous. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah, but I have Rin buy my lunch for her in return, but I'm not sure how she carries it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a cat fight. Well, it would be kind of hard for one of them to... It'd be really hard for Rin to kind of fight back now, wouldn't it? The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey, Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtfully, apparently giving this question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. At least she's at a loss as I am. Hey, Hiso, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hiso, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Oh, no, she's guilt tripping. Oh, she's doing it. Wasn't she the only one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me if I just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going to. I'll make sure he comes at me.
Oh!
Good idea, Ren. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like some outside force pushing me irrevocably towards my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Oh yeah, that guy. Still, I suppose I've got to show up now. I didn't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is this again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot. Well, you won't forget to come through, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note of it on the calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? No, we cannot do that, Emmy. Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time, it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, the statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapon against her. Your response is the sort of thing I expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Yeah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line like she just won an argument. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hiso, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. Yeah, asking why a person that has no arms can't really help with picking up trash is, well, very obvious to say the least. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up after lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk to the door. Oh no. What is Misha up to? Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hee-chan. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha grins even wider. Oh, really? Are you sure you weren't participating in illicit rendezvous? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emmy, no less. You Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misa burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. Well, haha, you're so adorable when you blush like that, Hee-chan. Of course Misha is gonna do this. She gives a conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. There's no secret. Oh. Misha seems disappointed and then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm simply sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwillingly to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. Sit down and half-hearted chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see. What was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for, well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here, Hazel? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figured that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy. Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing of my own present self. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give the max amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding. So you were down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. She's really... Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. So, really, I might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think I've got. That's what you think I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know? Oh really? Like what? Emmy puts her head on her side, to one side, as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in the free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all, but Rin comes with you. We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes the music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps her. It helps focus her. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me. Now, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow, I think that's all that Emmy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question has been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? His comment causes Emmy to laugh loudly. Ha, that's the understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figured you hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emmy seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your class. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you're hanging out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. I guess it's because lunch was so strange. Emmy shrugs, looking for a moment very Renish. It's because we're very similar. We have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like, okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And that's why we're similar. Okay. You lost me. Emmy frowns as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed.
Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone.
She says we both chase after an extreme. Like she always trying to find new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't... And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean slowed down by anything? Emmy looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along, and I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I ask. So, what got you into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our mutual hobby. A shadow crossed her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurses. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. Seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while and then stand up and head back to the room. Hey, she spots me leaving waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow. Morning, got it? Hold on. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning. Got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe it's just not as used to my new surroundings as I like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked, it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I threw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track where the first time Emmy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this point, I welcome the sensation. Sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm me up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam slightly. My mind calms down a little. Someone's shaking me. Hey, wake up. Where? What? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You're going to catch a cold or something. I rub my eyes and I'm confronted by Emmy, who bends over me with worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out of a mumble. Couldn't sleep, watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Ren would say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So, couldn't sleep, huh? Obviously, we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Now, come on, Hiso, we've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know. Should I really be running? Amy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers, for heaven's sake. The best way to get the soreness out is to run around a little. Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that I'm pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and I hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Emmy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed not to stare. If this is how I have to wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. You know, Hiso, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. Emmy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles and laughs shakily and slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together to go for a change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Emmy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. I do feel up to the run, if that's what she means. Yeah, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday? Well, we'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast, just worry about keeping the pace. Got it? You're the boss. Emmy grins again and we take off around the track. I think I'm going to die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on fire.
Our breath is coming in rigid gaps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow, and we've only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Hiso, you've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow, we're on the second lap. Emmy's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap, what happened to the second? Almost there, Hiso. We've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emmy whirls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Oh, language, we're on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, they're feeling so sluggish. I'm in mud, or molasses, or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, Hiso, give it all you got. Pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Hiso. I knew it. You had it in you. The anger in me showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since. Oh God. I cough for some reason, but feel a grin on my face. So this is how I die, huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. Oh, you're on your feet? Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Stupid bugs. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but I feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emmy keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emmy laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure and don't really have the breath to say so. But the small grin I feel on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. Hold on, I'm taking a drink. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost like she's fighting a losing battle, but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping around, swinging in time, her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Hiso. There is almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed by her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What's saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot, I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I don't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day and really hard the second day. And then the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are real hard, but you'll pop up less and less. They'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. Oh, excuse me. So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know. I thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? Excuse me. You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time left. We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how to get to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins as Emmy seems completely ignoring me. You got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming in a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Ah, hello, Hiso. What brings you here? Well, Hiso officially joined me on my morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises an eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hiso, let me have a look at you. Lift up your arm, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it seems to amuse him. A bit shy, are we? He makes me apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole! Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside. Hey, okay, Hiso? I begin to stammer, and that's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door, and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it. Ha! I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me. It seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. He nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving the unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we know each other. We've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than strictly professional. He seems embarrassed like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that I wave a hand to let him know it's not big. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I've been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts is still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Hiso. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know? What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk? She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally, it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it all in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, he should probably done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding where they meet her prosthetics. Oh, that is not good. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. Ah. To say nothing of the risk of infection of her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough of that. Enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. This stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, so you didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and my heart was racing by the end, too. Nurse frowns and I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't prove, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call Emmy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hiso, that's all. What? Come on. What have I told you about seducing my friends? I expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hiso may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hiso, you should probably get moving. You still need to shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like we've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head to the hallway, I can just barely hear her voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. Alright. I think this is where I'm going to end it. Ugh. This is a good spot to just save. You sure want to overwrite this save? Yes. Continue. All right. right. That was quite enjoyable. And so far, I'm really enjoying Katawa Shoujo. It's mm, the writing so far really good, and they're so far fleshing out of the characters is really good, and they've done a great job in not making there are so many things nowadays that I've seen, especially in like uh, yeah, this happened in Star Wars before. I can't remember what character. It's been so long, but so many writers nowadays have the worst tendencies to make a singular aspect of a person, like take Emmy for example, with her legs missing during the accident. Some lesser writers would run with that and make that the whole missing the legs her entire personality. But as we've seen in Katawa Shoujo, that the whole thing with the legs just adds to her personality. She is determined. She is refusing to let her missing legs define her, and she's willing to push herself, so much so that she causes the doctor to worry. So that sort of aspect is some great characterizations, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what else is coming with the rest of the cast. So far, I like every character so far, but still my favorites is definitely Rin and Hanako. I'm looking forward to when we get more into Hanako's thing. And yeah. Anyway, I want to thank you guys all for being here, and I will see you all tomorrow. I just need to make the next thumbnail for my next stream, which of course I'm going to be streaming more Katawa Shoujo tomorrow. Next week, I don't know. I might play some more Katawa Shoujo, but I need to talk with Six on whether or not he wants to play some Overwatch. If that, I'll schedule an Overwatch stream. Heck, during the week, since I've really got no videos scheduled, I might stream like Tuesday or Thursday with Katawa Shoujo. I will post those things up later on, and I will let you guys know. I mainly do if you're wondering where you can hear more from me, I post quite a bit on my X account. Of course, I post all my videos there and stream times and such. And of course, I post what I'm doing for videos and such. I do post some stuff on my YouTube account, but it's a lot easier to do it on my X. That's why I do more stuff there. And yeah. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for being here and watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.